Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. This is DrMarkBarsoum here, and today I have a different video about pharmacy, and this is the top 10 tips for applying to pharmacy school. Okay, the first one is to start early, right? You need to know if you're going to apply to pharmacy school, and if you are, do you have the prereqs? Have you gone through the school's list of requirements and classes that you need to take to apply for that school? This is really important because if you're running out of time, you need to prepare, maybe take summer courses. I remember I had this one class, it was communications, I believe. And I'm like, I don't have that. So I had to take it over the summer. So just make sure you start early and go over your prereqs to make sure you have the right requirements for applying to that pharmacy school. The second one is actually selecting the program. Right now, there are 3-year, 4-year programs, right, in terms of how fast you want to finish residency. Pharmacy school. It's because I did 3 years, right, and then I did 1 year of residency. So technically, it was like 4, right, years of higher education, but I did a 3-year program, which means you kind of during the summers you're still going through classes and going through the curriculum. Also, when selecting a program, there's also dual degrees out there. In terms of you can get a pharmacy degree, a Pharm.D, plus you can get like an MBA or like a master's degree. So if you're interested in those, usually I believe, not mistaken, there's still it's not a longer program. I just think it's a more kind of like intense program that you could do. So number 3 is use the PharmCAS checklist. PharmCAS is actually the site slash kind of like a program that they use for you to apply to pharmacy schools. So I will have a link below about the PharmCAS checklist, which is super helpful in terms of how to apply for pharmacy schools. Number 4 is study for your PCAT if it's required and if you are going to take it. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the exam called the MCAT, which is the medical kind of board medical exam for admissions, right? So this is the pharmacy version of it, right? P for a pharmacy. Some schools require it, some out-of-state schools require it. It really depends. My school didn't require it, but I took it anyways. So it may or may not nowadays make you feel more competitive when you're applying if you score high enough, right? If you get a good score. Number 5 is a good letter of recommendation / personal statement. So letter of recommendation, I always tell everyone, you don't want a letter of recommendation. You don't want a good letter of recommendation. You want a excellent, top-notch letter of recommendation. So when you ask your professors or community leaders or so, because I think now we need 3 letters of recommendation, make sure they write the best letters of recommendation. And you ask them, be like, can you write me an amazing letter of rec? And they'll be honest with you, right? They don't want to hurt you at the end of the day. And this is your letter of recommendation for pharmacy school, okay? Also, your personal statement, again, work on that very extensively with a lot of like thoughts and brainstorming in terms of what you can write for your personal statement. Again, I would kind of tie that one to the top tip, which is start early. Start early so you could have many drafts so you can kind of go through, okay? Number 6 is tell your story. Be genuine, right? Why are you passionate about pharmacy, right? Who or what inspired you? Where do you see yourself in 10 years from now as a pharmacist? You need to genuinely know how to answer these questions because then you can tell your story in not only your personal statement, but also during the interview process, right? Tell your story, okay? Number 7 is sell your experience. This is probably the only time I think being prideful is not wrong, right? You need to put everything down that makes you just glow, right? on paper, at least for now, right? If you've done like missionary trips, if you're a leader experience in the community or just even doing community service, anything you've done through undergrad or in your community that will make you stand out, you sell yourself on that. You write about that, you do everything you can to make that like a little like nudge, right, compared to other applicants who have not done those, experiences or community services. Number 8 is proofread everything. I actually remember I was proofreading someone who was applying for pharmacy school, and I was like, this is a mess, right? Not the actual like idea of what the person was talking about, but just like grammar, where your commas, and I'm the worst of the grammar, but like this one was like I helped them, right? So kind of tells you how bad it was. But make sure you always proofread everything twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. I even remember when I was doing my letter of intent for residency applications, not only for pharmacy school, but that I messed up so many times. So many people were proofreading it. Number 9, practice your interview. This is really important because I feel like a lot of people stress out during the interview, but I feel like once you have the interview, you're set, right? Like this is where you are, pretty much just be yourself, right? Like this is where you are going to just be okay, relax. I know it's stressful, right? This is your future. This is where you're gonna go, for the next 3-4 years. Devote tons of money to, but you have to be yourself. If you're not gonna lie to yourself, right? And going back to number 6 is just tell your story, be genuine. They can see right through your answers if they know you're faking it, or you're just making up these stories just to answer something, right? You need to be genuine. Okay. Number 10 kind of goes back to number 8, but have your friends proofread your letter of intent and personal statements, right? Especially if you know they're better in English, they're better in grammar. Send it to them. Ask them. Be like, hey, do you have a few minutes? Can you kind of go over this for me? And not even maybe with ideas, not even just tell them, just straight grammar, if that's what you want. I also recommend not only your friends, but have pharmacists, okay? Check and proofread your letter of recommendation and your personal statement. And when I say why pharmacists, because they've gone through the process, they know what the other pharmacists maybe want to hear, or they want to read, or what they're kind of looking for applicants, right? We have been through the system. I've been through multiple interviews during pharmacy school and residency. I've interviewed applicants for pharmacy school and for upcoming residents who were kind of taking my spot the following year. I interviewed them, right? I was in the process, so I know. So make sure pharmacists, whether you know them personally or not, or if you don't know any pharmacists, then honestly, just maybe even like comment below. Maybe I'll have time to look at your letter of recommendation or personal statements. Reach out to me even on Instagram as well. But just make sure a pharmacist looks at it. You can say another healthcare profession to look at it, but they don't know pharmacy. You can have a medical student look at it. You can have a PA student look at it. You can have a nurse look at it, which is amazing for proofreading, kind of give you some insight. But ultimately, make sure you have a pharmacist who's practicing, who know, even a professor, right? Maybe they have insight. If you're in a pharmaceutical program, maybe your professors are pharmacists. Ask them, to proofread, give you kind of feedback on both of those, letter of recommendation and personal statements. Okay. Now again, guys, the 10 tips, for applying for pharmacy school is first is start early. Go over your prereqs for your classes so you don't fall behind and cram all these classes together. 2, select a program, whether it's a 3-year, 4-year program, and if you're going to do just a Pharm.D or you're going to do a dual degree, because that's going to determine where you're going to apply, since I feel those are kind of more limited in terms of just a normal pharmacy degree school. 3 is use the PharmCAS checklist, and I will have that link below in the description. 4, study for the PCAT if it's required, or if you choose to take it. If you don't need to take it, that's okay. But if you do take it, make sure you study. I personally believe it was not a difficult exam. Not sure how hard it got, but just make sure you study for that exam. Number 5, work on your letter of recommendation and personal statement. Make sure you get an amazing, top-notch letter of recommendation, and your personal statement is you, right? It tells your story and being genuine, which kind of goes to number 6 is tell your story, right? Be yourself. They're going to see right through that, whether it's at the interview or in your personal statement, that if you're just lying or you kind of have no idea what you're talking about or what your goals are. Sell your experience, right? The one time to be prideful, right? It's okay. Missionary trips, what leadership experiences you have, what community service you've done, kind of what makes you stand out from the rest of the applicants. Number 8 is proofread everything, grammar, spelling. Don't have like 3 lines, it's just like one sentence, right? Make sure you go through all of that. Number 9 is practice your interview. Be genuine. Again, they will see that you're stressed, you're freaking out, but I promise you, the way I went through to all my interviews, I said, hey, I got this far, so I can do this. Now, this is really knowing if not only if they want me, but if I want them. I've been to a pharmacy interview, I'm like, I don't want to be here. It's not me, I don't feel it. Then that's it. That is practice your interviewing. See what you really want. Ask questions about the program that are not online, by the way. Things that you kind of have to get from some people's experiences there on the campus. 10, last but not least, but have your friends, co-workers proofread your letter of recommendation and your personal statement, and have a pharmacist, whether it's a practice pharmacist, clinical pharmacist, a professor who's a pharmacist, has their degree, go over and proofread and give feedback on your letter of recommendation and your personal statement. Again, if you guys have any questions and you've gone this far in the video, I would please say thank you for subscribing and liking. Again, if you have any questions or comments, guys, comment below. Reach out to me on Instagram or even below if you want me to go over your letter of recommendation. Anyways, have an amazing day, guys, everyone, and stay safe. Thank you.